What's up, everybody? Jake Fletcher here, Remax Advance, Fletcher Group in Miami, Florida, bringing you guys the Florida real estate news. So as you can see, got a little upgrade to the studio here behind me. Sound quality is a little bit better, and we're switching things up with this as well. This is the first Florida real estate video on its own, right? So I'm doing US real estate news and Florida real estate news. They used to just be in one big video, but I realized that kind of doesn't really make sense, so I'm making them into two separate videos. So Florida real estate news, let's jump into it. Oh, and then the other thing is that they're going to be on a bi-weekly schedule from now on. We have this one this week, and then there's going to be one next week, and then after that it's going to be every other week because I do my podcast on the second and fourth week of the month, and then these real estate, that's every second and fourth Wednesday is my podcast, The Jake Fletcher Show. So the real estate news I'm going to be doing on the first and third week of every month. Not sure if I'm going to do it on a specific day or not. Let me know in the comments if you think that I should. So let's jump into it. So we just had an election recently, in case you didn't know. And here in Florida, Amendment 5 passage could affect commercial real estate. So let's see what's up. So coming from FloridaRealtors.org by Christine Sexton, Florida voters approved a gradual minimum wage boost of $15 per hour, which could impact many businesses, notably tourism and brokers who have hourly employees. Tallahassee, Florida. Florida voters on Tuesday approved gradually boosting the state's minimum wage to $15 an hour while narrowly rejecting a proposal that would have overhauled the state's primary election system. The hike in a minimum wage will be phased in through September 30th, 2026, but it will represent a significant move in a state heavily dependent on tourism and the service industry for jobs. It was put on the ballot with the financial help of well-known Orlando trial attorney John Morgan. As of 11:45 p.m. Tuesday, the minimum wage measure, Amendment 2, had support from nearly 61% of voters, above the 60% threshold needed for passing, because here in Florida we have to have a supermajority to pass new amendments, and it will increase the minimum wage to $10 an hour on September 30th, 2021, and then increase it by $1 each year until September 30th, 2026, when it will be $15 per hour. Currently, Florida's minimum wage is $8.56. So by next September, it'll go up to $10. And I mean, just that extra $1.44 an hour should really help people not have so much stress in their lives, which I think is good. Business groups that oppose the measure conceded defeat late Tuesday. NFIB Florida Executive Director Bill Hurley said an October analysis showed that 20% of small businesses were unsure if they would remain operational in the next 6 months. This makes 2021 a greater challenge for small businesses. Throw it on. We'll see if it breaks the camel's back. So he's kind of got like a little bit of a nihilistic approach there. Like, screw it, man. Whatever. We'll just see if it destroys everything or not. I don't think it will. I really don't. Florida is the 8th state to adopt a $15 minimum wage. Supporters said it's needed to improve the standard of living of many workers. Quote, "This will help me a whole lot. I know it will," said Gail Rogers, a 60-year-old Ybor City resident who, after working at McDonald's for 6 years, said she earns $9.40 an hour. Rogers, a widow who resides in a rooming house for women, is a member of the nationwide group Fight for $15 and has routinely protested her low wages in recent years. "I can earn a little more cash. I can save more," she said, of the higher minimum wage. "I can save until I get to where I need to be at. I am not where I need to be at." And that's a 60-year-old woman, man, working at McDonald's, and like she can't save. Like, that shouldn't be the case in America, right? I don't care what end of the spectrum you're on. You shouldn't, of politics, you shouldn't want your fellow Americans living in poverty, man. Anyways, while Amendment 2 faced opposition from many business groups, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis was quiet about where he stood on the proposed constitutional amendment until right before Election Day, when he issued a statement in which he said now is not the time to increase the minimum wage, warning that its passage would be bad for Florida businesses and the state. Meanwhile, about 57% of voters supported Amendment 3, which, if passed, would have eliminated Florida's closed primary elections and state races. That was below the 60% threshold needed for approval. The proposed amendment would have allowed all registered voters to vote in primaries for state legislative seats, governor, and cabinet seats, regardless of party affiliation. The two candidates who captured the most votes would have moved on to general election under the proposal. And all voters on Tuesday were asked to weigh in on 6 proposed constitutional amendments. Amendments can be proposed through citizen initiatives. Okay, blah, 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 blah. law. Voters on Tuesday rejected an attempt to make it more difficult to amend the state constitution in the future. This I thought was ridiculous. Amendment 4 sought to require amendments to be approved by voters twice before taking effect. So I guess they think maybe people don't know what they want. I don't know. But it was receiving just 47% support Tuesday night. The legislature, by supermajority votes of both chambers, agreed to put two proposed amendments in front of voters for the general election, Amendment 5 and 6, both of which passed with overwhelming support. Amendment 5 will increase from 2 to 3 years the length of time accrued Save Our Homes tax benefits may be transferred from prior homesteads. That's basically allowing you to carry over your homestead exemption to another property and have a 3-year span of time between that homestead and your new one and still be able to apply the exemption rather than a 2-year span of time. So I think that's great. Amendment 6 will allow homestead property tax discounts for certain veterans with permanent combat-related disabilities to carry over to the veterans' surviving spouses. How can you say no to that, right? In terms of the minimum wage thing, I really strongly believe that the rising tide raises all ships, and I think that there's an argument to be made where it's like, dude, we're in COVID, like businesses are failing left and right. How are you then now going to tell businesses that they have to pay their workers more? Well, I mean, I guess my response to that is they don't have to until September 30th of 2021. So they've got almost a year until then. Well, hey, the virus could be still going on, so on and so forth. Yes, I agree it could, and it probably will be. But, that's a long time between now and then for the federal government to figure out some kind of stimulus help to help these businesses out. We're just going to have to figure it out, man, because like people can't live on $8. I think that what is the federal minimum wage is like 17 cents. I'm being sarcastic, but like people in the richest country in the history of mankind should not be living in poverty, right? And the more people are doing well, and like Gail Rogers, they're able to save a little bit and not have to stress about finances as much, the more people are going to be able to participate in the economy. The more people who are able to participate in the economy, the healthier the economy is. And especially for people like me who are real estate agents, the more people who can afford houses, the better, right? So we want people to be doing well financially. Of course, we don't want businesses to fail, right? And if it ends up, if it happens, if $15 by 2026 is just too much for businesses to figure it out, then, we'll have to figure something else out to help the businesses. But, they're probably going to pass on some of the increased cost to the consumer. But also, too, something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about in this conversation is the higher you pay your employees is directly related to how much or how long you're able to retain your employees, which means less cost on training employees. And training is the biggest expenditure for a business in regards to their employees, other than, of course, like health insurance stuff, like, those kind of taxes and stuff like that. But in terms of just how much money you spend on your employees, your training of a new employee costs a whole lot more than it does to give those employees a couple dollars extra an hour or whatever it is, and you'll retain those employees for longer. They will be able to patron your establishment more, along with their family and friends. More people in general will be able to patron your establishment. So I think that businesses will be getting more sales because people will have more money in their pocket. Basically, trickle-down economics is a bunch of bullshit, and the way to actually help our economy is to help people from the ground up. So I strongly believe that, and if you don't, then you're wrong. So, sorry. On to the next story. Coming from thedailycommercial.com, don't expect a housing boom, says Don Magruder. So, let's check it out. So, coming out of the spring shutdown from COVID-19, the housing market has been hot tamales. If you listen to the headlines in the news, housing sales and starts are record-breaking. In reality, though, they are not. There was pent-up demand from the spring shutdown, and there seems to be a real migration from the large cities to the suburbs and countryside. Even with historically low interest rates, both housing sales and starts are not record-breaking. Nationally, housing starts in August were 1.4 million, which was 5.1% below the prior month and only 2.8% better than the previous year. This number includes the pent-up demand and huge push of people from the large urban centers. To put these housing starts in perspective, consider that during the housing boom in January 2006, housing starts came in at almost 2.3 million, which is 64.3% more than August 2020. Conversely, housing starts in Florida for August 2020 were 10,100 compared to a high of 20,044 during the housing boom. Side note, if you didn't know, housing start is new homes, new construction. Where was I at? Right here. If you look at historic norms, especially compared to the population, housing starts are actually low. Affordability, increased material costs, and labor shortages are just a few reasons why fewer percentage of Americans can afford a home today. There is no doubt that the housing market in Lake County is hot. That's Florida. According to the Orlando Regional Realtor Association, the average selling price of a home in Lake County has gone from $240,000 in January to $265,000 in August, which is up 10.7%. In line with this, the price per square footage for a home has increased from $131 in January to $142 in August, which is a price level that knocks many people out of the housing market. The number of average days to sell a home has gone from 61 days in January to 52 days in August, with an increase in sales of 40.1%. What do all these numbers really mean? First, inventory is tight and there are fewer homes on the market for sale. Next, we know this, I've been talking about that forever. Next, this demand is pushing prices upward with each move. I've also talked about that. There are more people who are unable to purchase a home. Next, it is a seller's market. If you want to sell your home, now is a good time. That's absolutely true. If you do want to sell your home, make sure to call me. My information's below. Okay. Finally, despite the challenges with the pandemic and the negative impact on tourism, Florida's real estate market will be a shining economic star for the state. Expect the migration of people to Florida to intensify a lot this year, especially since the state has been spared a direct hit from a major hurricane, which is the first in 4 years. Yeah, I mean, definitely I've seen a lot of people coming here from California and New York because of their tax stuff. Also Canada, because it's cold, I guess. I've never been, so I'm just going on what people say. We avoided a hit from a hurricane, but I don't know how much that really plays into people moving here, because there's a lot of people who move here all the time already, and doesn't seem like they're being prevented by the thought of a hurricane. Also, too, this is the Magic City, baby. Like, these hurricanes, they just bounce off and go the other way. Look at Etta. All right, so knock on wood. Right, so construction and real estate are strong in Florida, and this should continue into 2021 unless there's a major economic turndown, which will tangle up the state. With that said, do not expect another 2005-2006 housing boom in Florida. The fundamentals are different because the homes being purchased are for new residents, not speculative. Plus, with the economic turndown in other parts of America, along with the pending eviction and foreclosure crisis, lenders will demand good credit and accurate appraisals. This is true. What will make the housing market more exuberant in 2021 is a huge number of cash buyers who will look at Florida as an investment they cannot afford to lose. Although the housing market is strong and should remain strong, do not expect a boom. All right, so I don't necessarily agree with this sentence right here about what will make the housing market here boom or be more exuberant. He's not a boom guy. He's an exuberant guy. Is cash buyers. So cash buyers have been steadily declining in Florida since 2013, I believe, which is when, like, after the last financial crisis, you had all the investors come in with their war chest full of cash. They made their purchases and then they dropped off. And then they really dropped off in 2016, 2017 after FIRPTA came into play, which is the Foreign Investors in Real Property Tax Act, which made it harder for foreign nationals to invest. Not harder for them to invest, but they had to pay more taxes if they want to invest in property here. So I don't think that's what's going to make the housing market more exuberant, is these cash buyers just like flooding our streets with their bags full of money. Although, yeah, there will be cash buyers, but if I'm a cash buyer from another state, I'm thinking, Florida's average home prices are up on average higher than other places nationally. So is it really a good place to do a cash purchase? And also too, let's say the cash buyer they are coming here. They do want to make a purchase in Florida, right? A lot of cash buyers, I think, are opting to finance right now. I've seen it happen a couple times because they're like, yeah, I could buy cash, Or I could hedge my bets against inflation with a 30-year mortgage where the rate I'm paying for interest is less than the average rate of inflation. So you're kind of losing money, a lot of money, if you buy things cash right now. So I don't really expect these savvy cash buyers to miss out on those facts. What I do think is going to help our housing market, whether it's exuberant or it's a boom, I do think that those tax laws in other states. I think our weather is amazing here. I mean, I could make you a whole list, but of things that are different now than they were. People are able to work from home and telework or whatever. And anyone living in a cold area, if you're able to work from home, come on down to Florida. It's warm here. You can be right on the water. It's a great market. There's so many pros. So I think that is going to be the biggest thing that helps our real estate market from the perspective of people coming here from outside of Florida. So last but not least, I always like to end it on like kind of a different type of story. So here we go. Coming from Claire Trapasso from OrlandoSentinel.com. This is the second article from Claire today. Jeffrey Epstein's notorious Palm Beach mansion is about to meet its fate. So, the infamous Palm Beach, Florida mansion where convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein abused underage girls and young women will soon meet the wrecking ball. Florida real estate developer Tom Michael Glazer told the Wall Street Journal he signed a contract to purchase the 6-bedroom, 7.5-bathroom mansion where the disgraced financier allegedly sexually assaulted his victims. The sprawling waterfront estate on the Intracoastal Waterway is about a mile away from President Donald Trump's Tony Club, Mar-a-Lago. What's a Tony Club? I don't know what that is. The deal is expected to go through next month. Glazer plans to raise the notorious residence and put up a 14,000 square foot modern mansion in its place. Quote, Palm Beach is going to be very happy that it's gone, said Glazer. I'm sure also the victims will, who has a reputation for building ultra-luxe spec mansions. Local real estate professionals would agree. Quote, it's a good thing to tear it down, says luxury real estate agent Mary Jane M.J. McElwaney. Sorry, MJ. Of the Nicholas Vance Realty Group in North Palm Beach, Florida. Quote, there was a definite stigma attached to the house. It'll be a betterment to the community to get rid of the house and the bad energy attached to it. Epstein's former estate is still listed for sale on Realtor.com for just under $22 million. It went on the market in July. Someone close to the deal told the Journal Glazer paid around $18 million for the mansion. Probably could have gotten it for cheaper. Here we go. That's a good buy, says McElwaney. The location is very desirable. It is a good buy for the location and the size of the lot. Epstein purchased the house for a fraction of the price, just $2.5 million in 1990. Home was vandalized this July, nearly a year after Epstein's death, supposed death, if you believe he didn't die. The words "gone but not forgiven" appear on the front gate of the estate in red paint, designed not to look like blood. Multimillionaire's 10-bedroom, 15-bathroom townhouse in New York City is still up for sale for an eye-popping $88 million. 7-story, 28,000 square foot home near Manhattan Central Park was last sold for $13.2 million in '89. They should just turn that into like, they should tear them down and turn them into like community homes for women or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that'd be weird for those women, but like flip the script on it, right? The proceeds from the sale of this property are going to his estate. It created a fund to compensate claims from the victims out of the court. Epstein, who famously hobnobbed with the rich and powerful, including President Trump and Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Harvey Weinstein, was arrested in July 6, 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges. He was denied bail. Epstein hanged himself in his jail cell on August 10, 2019 while awaiting trial, and then escaped out the back door to his private island. I'm just kidding. I didn't say that, but I don't know, man. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but man, that was a weird circumstance how he died. His ex-girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, was arrested in July. The socialite pleaded not guilty to federal sex trafficking charges for allegedly helping Epstein recruit his young victims. Her trial is slated to begin in July. We still don't really know like what happened with that. I don't know if they mean July of next year, but I don't know. Yeah, that's that. So knock it down, raise it to the ground. I think that's the property right there. So, what a sad story, man. My heart goes out to all the people who are victims of him. Yeah, I mean, and the fact that the Ghislaine Maxwell who helped him out Like, it seems like what's happening with that, I don't know. We don't know. The whole thing is sketchy. They're connected to all these powerful people, but we don't know who they are. They unsealed those documents or whatever, and we were supposed to learn about things but we didn't, I guess. I don't know, man. The whole thing is very sketchy. When you have enough money, you can kind of do whatever you want, I guess, is what it seems like, unfortunately. But I'm glad that they're doing this. I'm glad they're knocking it down because, what else are you going to do? Who's going to live in that house, right? You couldn't pay me to live in that house. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this Florida real estate news update. I'm Jake Fletcher from the Fletcher Group, RE/MAX Advance in Miami, Florida. Obviously, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in South Florida, I'm the person that you need to call. All my information is below. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one. Sell smart, buy bold. Peace.